Thank you for tuning in to the only station giving you double the information and inspiration, WDRB and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. You're listening to the Moonlight Lounge, and I'm your host, Miss Deja Vu. You can also listen to our posts at Facebook, Twitter, and Vimeo and YouTube. Right after this, here for an interview, a very important pro-life message about adoption options after this.
Girl, you are to me all that a woman should be, and I dedicate my life to you always. A love like yours is rare. It must have been sent from up above, and I know you'll stay this way for always. And we both know that our love will grow and forever it will be you and me. Ooh, you're like the sun, chasing all of the rain away. When you come around, you bring brighter days. You're the perfect one for me, and you forever will be, and I will love you so for always. Come with me, my sweet. Let's go make a family. They will bring us joy.
Okay, for this special edition on the Court of Public Opinion here at the Field Report, we're going to share our really kind of sweet story about foster care, adoption, family, reproduction rights concerns that a lot of women are trying to address, but there's just got to be a better way to address it than watching what we've been seeing in Washington, D.C. And that song is our family song, and we're going to talk about a lot of things in these segments that you're going to hear. If you haven't already heard the first couple episodes, we're just kind of going to jump right in there and with you talking about your dad and your reproductive rights and your concerns about reproduction. And where we left off is you were talking about your dad.
Okay. Well, I was 18 years old. I was going in for a DNC. I had some female problems. And my father told me, oh, don't worry, you're going to reproduce. You're going to have many children, whatever. Well, so be it. I could not bear children. All right? So it's like, okay, now what am I going to do? Over the next couple of years, we tried the adoption thing and that. And I thought, let's try foster care. We did foster care. We took in a couple children over foster care who like, oh my, I got like a child 10 years younger than me. I was like, wow, this is really, wow. But then I was blessed, and I mean truly blessed, with 3 beautiful girls. But not only 3 beautiful girls, but 3 beautiful boys. The girls went with one family. The boys went with another family. We made sure that those children lived, loved every day together. We made sure that their biological families, their mom, their dad, aunts, uncles, whatever, were involved with those child's lives. And that's what life is all about. Because let me tell you this. Monica, the youngest of all 6 children, I told her one day, I said, you know what? God said to me, you need a family. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, you know what? I have a family for you. So God brought me and the girls together to become a family. And that has been, I'll never forget that night. I said, God brought us together to be a family.
Uh-huh.
He knew we needed children.
Yep.
And he knew you needed a family.
Yep.
And he brought us together to be a family.
I saw that firsthand. I actually was there October 1st, 1986. In fact, let me piggyback on that story, Gail. I'm 46 years old, okay, and I walked into that door, and there was a rainbow sticker right at the corner. It's still there, right, Gail, with Jesus?
Yeah.
I remember saying that's where I was supposed to go. So you got that, and I got that, and I knew I was home. I knew, and I still know today, even almost 30 some years later, this is my mom. Not that it replaced my biological mom or dad. This is my mom. I even look a lot like my mom. I even sound like my mom. I mean, it's weird. You'd think we weren't. But it has ages. It's not about a number, Mom, right?
Right.
We're talking here at the Court of Public Opinion. Now, let's make some light of this topic, because some people are like, okay, they're gonna get the Kleenex. Don't cry, too, because we actually have some funny stories. Remember when I was 16 and I was sitting there at the kitchen table, and what did you say? That Mom, I told you you're pretty gifted in this area. Tell them what you told them that is very obvious today.
I don't remember, Jennifer.
Oh, okay. The talk show part, Mom.
Oh, You are going to be a talk show host someday, like Oprah Winfrey.
You really believe that, and guess what? I
I
remember
believe
laughing.
it.
Huh?
I believe that.
You were right. I remember getting a job here, and if you're listening to me, I have a radio show here at WGIV in Charlotte. What are the chances that we can talk about this today, that I became, quote, a talk show host? Because I didn't have a lot of advantages, by the way. If anybody wants to personally dig away at that, I had to go through this from raw, right? So Gail, I remember sitting there at 16 years old, and I remember thinking the same thing. Like, I don't know where my life is going, and I don't know what's going to happen. But I walked in that door on October 1st, 1986, and I knew I was home. I knew it.
I'll tell you what. I was so overwhelmed that night. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Da da da. Like, I was like, oh my God. You know, all of a sudden I have 3 children. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like unbelievable. You know, am I going to be a good mom? Da da da. But you know what? In the long run, it was wonderful. And I'll tell you what, I would do it all over again.
That was the most awesome day. I remember the doily that you put on the what do they call it? The dresser drawer upstairs.
Yep.
And I remember sitting on the steps talking to Erica, and God rest Erica's soul, because she's not.
Oh, Erica, she was wonderful. She really was.
Yeah. I've actually talked to other people. I've actually talked to people about children that are in high-risk situations. And like Erica did, is she put herself in a very risky situation. She actually got fired for doing her job. Is that not like the way the world has been? It's like, people, if you do your job right, you might get fired. So think about what Donald Trump is doing here. He's doing his job, and he's going to get fired upon. He's the one that's doing the firing this time, right?
You know what, Jennifer? I texted Donald Trump about 6 months ago. Can you give me 15 minutes of your time? And that's all I'm going to say. I did not get a response, but I would love 15 minutes with Donald Trump. And I'll tell you what, I think we could make a big difference if I had the time to talk to him.
I think so. And you know what? This message is for Donald Trump. This message is because I know he's listening, and he's looking for the right people right now. He wants the right people behind him. He wants the people that actually are effective and actually mean what they say, and they're going to present it, and we're presenting it right now. Gail, myself included, and people that listen to this broadcast that support what we're doing. We have to be able to create a platform, a place where we can voice our opinion. You're not going to get heard in certain media outlets. Some people are going to twist our words around. You heard it from Gail, and you're hearing it from me. There are women right now at a disadvantage, whether they live in a women's shelter or put in situations where they have to put their children up for adoption, not because they have to or want to, because... So we took the time to open up and share with a lot of people about some of the concerns that young women are dealing with, especially if you're at a disadvantage and you're working really hard to prove yourself in a world where there's just too many critics. So we're going to continue to discuss this in this women's forum. We are inviting any women on all issues regarding women in a women's forum, a Trump rally, because we support our president. See, there are a lot of women that are being put in very tricky situations. We're not here to want to debate and fight, but that's what's really going to happen if we don't find a way to address it and communicate in a way that we can bring people together. We're not excusing the problems that are happening before us. That's not what this is. To totally disregard what's going on in Washington, D.C. and what's going to happen later on this week, because the annual ProLife Rally. And this is just so relevant to what's going on there in Washington right now over this weekend since the inauguration of Donald Trump. And it's not Donald Trump's problem that he walked into this. He took on this because this nation's been on life support, literally. I mean, we're barely on fumes, and right now they want to start this big other war against men, and that's never been our concern. I mean, there are concerns that go on in the home. That's not as if we totally dismiss what men have to say. And this is why we're having this forum, because we support the men in our lives. We don't want them to be demasculated. We don't want to see what has happened to the man and the importance of a man. I can personally tell you, without the men in our life, without their input, without their sense of humor, without their insight, I do not know that any of us could be as strong as we are. We've had to be strong because we're being put in circumstances, because there were some circumstances that we have unfortunately encountered in previous relationships or previous problems. But that should not hold you back from doing something with your life, inviting women into this who have want and desire to have better relationship with the men in their life. What that is our primary desire. Our primary desire is to grow as a family, to grow as women, and support one another. And where do you hear that? Where do you hear where a woman is okay being on their own and making it without the support of a good dad, a proper relationship with men? You know, it gets to the point, yeah, I think that men, they have real reasons, real concerns, but we know we got to separate the women from the girls, okay? And there are some women, they just do not speak for all women, okay? There are women who are at a disadvantage, and they want better, and they want better for the children. And many of these women are raised in young boys, and they do not want to see the examples that have been put forth. They want to see strong men. And you know what? I often hear strong men mean strong women, and strong families mean something to us. So we don't want to sit here and disregard what is going on in Washington, D.C., but we want to see how we, as a family, as supporting the men in our life and the women in our life, to do better, to achieve more, to accomplish more, to encourage our kids to do better. See, if we settle for what we've already settled for, we're going to be right where we are or even worse off. That is why this change occurred to begin with. So you're going to listen to more on topics regarding what's going on in Washington, D.C. This conversation has to start somewhere. We got to talk about the important things about sex. Why there's so many concerns, shame, guilt, things that we don't need to be introducing into a healthy lifestyle. If we want healthy, we want better, we got to start somewhere. I can honestly tell you, it'd be too easy to stay stuck and angry. It'd be too easy to just want to give up on the people around us. It takes a lot of risk for us as women. We're putting ourselves in a very vulnerable position when we take those risks to be vulnerable with the men and women in our lives. So this is a chance for us to discuss more. So hopefully you'll get to listen to all these links and broadcasts here.
Chance, and it's like, okay, and I thought about this, and I'm like, why don't we have a march for women for Trump? And I think that is very, very, very important.
I think we can really do something with that too.
I really do.
Does it make
Jennifer,
sense? Yeah.
Jennifer, you're good at doing all these websites. Let's do a woman for Trump march and get that started. Let's see how many people we can get involved in it. I'll share it. I'm sure you'll share it, and we'll get it out there and about.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to call it Woman to Woman for Trump, where women's organize in small groups, and then our date for this rally in Washington, D.C., we're shooting for spring, probably closer to Easter time, maybe before or after, around that time, where people can get some time off during that holiday, because a lot of people have some vacation time to travel. Let's shoot for that during that time, to have the Woman to Woman for Trump, where women come together, not.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I think women to
I
women.
agree.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, like I told you tonight, you are amazing. You can do anything you set your mind to, okay? And this is one thing I believe you can do. Set yourself to this.
Yeah. I think I'm really fortunate that I have your support. You are not just my foster mother, but my mom. You've adopted me.
I love you, Jen. I love you.
Too. And
To the moon and back.
I'm very fortunate to have Gail as a mom. She's been supportive. She's concerned. She knows I would have been at a disadvantage, and I know that you women who have been in a disadvantage, you know how hard it is to have people listen to you. And you are invited here to voice your concerns, woman to woman for Trump, small group, whether it be at this radio platform or in your home. You can make this happen. We support you. We get behind you girls. We get behind you women, because I see too many young women that are just tired of beating this old dead horse. They know that they know that all you need is some people to get the red tape out of the way, or let's push forward. So we're going to do this, right, Gail?
That's right.
Okay, so we got to start small and work towards the goal to get to Washington, D.C. We're shooting for spring. We want women to women for Trump, any women that want to organize.
Exactly.
Contact us, because we are a little tired of hearing the same old regurgitated message that women don't have rights, when women have rights since the 1930s, and look what they've done to their rights. You know what I mean? Your right to be a woman is one thing. Do something with it. Don't just complain. Show up and get yourself a job. Make something happen. More welfare benefits aren't going to change this. It's bigger than that. So we have it. First time I think women have a chance at changing this. Because you can't have the old same Democrat policies that are get you nowhere. You're going to still end up in that same project or same situation. You know what I mean? We're just not getting anywhere. We got to move the ball forward. So we're going to do this. I'm committed. Gail, you're committed.
Oh, I am committed.
Okay. Well, you heard it here. Thank you for listening to the Court of Public Opinion. We're going to continue to keep you updated on topics like this, and organize with us. Support us. Get behind us, because you got our commitment. We need a commitment from you. Thank you for listening.
Okay.